non-existent, as is said in the Po-Wo-Pin chapter on the refutation of the self. This is the seal of non-self. Question. How is it that only the conditioned dharmas are impermanent whereas all dharmas are non-self? Answer. Unconditioned dharmas, being without causes or conditions, do not arise and do not cease. As they do not arise and do not cease, they are not said to be impermanent. Furthermore, one cannot produce attachment of mind or error toward unconditioned dharmas. This is why they are not said to be impermanent, but they can be said to be non-self. People say that the Atman is eternal, universally extended and endowed with knowledge. This is why the sutra speaks of non-self in regard to all dharmas. Santam nirvanam. Peacefulness is nirvana because the fire of the three poisons and the threefold degeneration is destroyed in it. This is the seal of peace. Question. Why does the seal of peace apply to only one dharma, namely nirvana, and not to several? Answer. In the first seal, it is a matter of the five aggregates. In the second seal, it is a question of all dharmas qualified as non-self. In the third seal, it is a question of the fruit of the first two, namely nirvana. It is called the seal of peace. By saying that all the formations are impermanent, the five outer objects of enjoyment considered as belonging to a self are destroyed. By saying that all dharmas are without self, the inner self is destroyed. The I and the mind being destroyed, there is santam nirvanam. Considering the impermanence of the formations, the yogin experiences disgust for the suffering of the world, but while knowing this disgust and this suffering, he remains attached to the view of the Svaman, the sovereign entity capable, he says, of having this thought. This is why there is a second seal of the Dharma. The yogi knows that all dharmas are without self. Analyzing the five aggregates, the 12 bases of consciousness, the 18 elements and the 12 causes inwardly and outwardly to look for a Svaman, he does not find any. And as the latter does not exist, all dharmas are without self and are inactive. Recognizing this, the yogin stops his futile proliferation and, having no other refuge, he takes refuge only in cessation. Hence the seal of santam nirvanam. Question. In the Mahayana it is said, dharmas do not arise, are not destroyed and have but one single nature, viz. the absence of nature. Why is it said here that all conditioned dharmas are impermanent and that that is a seal of the Dharma? Are these two teachings not contradictory? Answer. To consider impermanence is to consider emptiness. If one considers form as momentary and impermanent, one knows that it is empty. The past substance being destroyed, it is invisible and thus without the nature of substance. The future substance, not yet being born, is without activity, without function and invisible, thus without the nature of substance. The present substance also is without duration, invisible and non-discernible, thus without the nature of substance. Absence of substance is emptiness. Emptiness is non-arising and non-cessation. Non-arising and non-cessation, arising and cessation are in reality one and the same thing. The explanation can be both developed and summarized. Question. We accept that past and future substances, being invisible, do not have the nature of substance. But present substance is visible as long as it lasts. Why do you say that it does not have the nature of substance? Answer. Present substance also does not have any duration. As I have said in regard to the four smrtyupus thanas. Every dharma, the nature of cessation of which we see after the event, must clearly possess this nature of cessation from its birth. As it is subtle, we do not recognize it. If the duration of conditioned dharmas were a stable duration, there would never be cessation. Let us suppose there is a man who is wearing sandals. If these were new from the very first day, they would never wear out. Afterwards, they would always be new and there would be no aging. Having no aging, they would be eternal. From the fact of this eternity, there would be no sin and no merit. And, as there would be no more sin or merit, the usual rules of the Buddhist path would be overturned. Furthermore, since the natures of arising and cessation always go along with the formations, there is no period of duration. If there were a period of duration, there would be neither arising nor cessation. This is why present substance has no duration of induration. There is no arising or cessation, for duration reduced to a single moment is characteristic of the formations. This is the Dharma of unhindered penetration. This is how the Dharma is to be recollected. 7. Other qualities of the Buddhist Dharma. Furthermore, there are two kinds of Dharma. I. The Buddha's speech, namely, the 3 baskets, the 12-membered Buddha's words and the 84,000 articles of the Dharma. E. The meaning of the Dharma preached by the Buddha, namely the Eightfold Noble Path with its 3 elements: discipline, concentration, wisdom and the fruit of deliverance of nirvana. The yogin should first recollect the speech of the Buddha and then recollect the meaning of the Dharma. 1. Recollecting the speech of the Buddha. The Buddha's speech is beautiful, marvelous, truthful and of great usefulness. The Buddha's speech is both profound and not very profound. Profound because it has in view the true nature. Not very profound because it is skillfully formulated. His repetitions are faultless because each has its significance. The speech of the Buddha rests on 4 bases and is adorned with 4 qualities. I. Wisdom, E. Truth, E. Equanimity, IV. Cessation. It is irrefutable because it uses 4 ways of responding to questions. I. Responding in a categorical way, E. Responding by distinguishing, E. Responding by means of a question, IV. Responding by not answering. The words of the Buddha are either permissions followed by prohibitions, or prohibitions followed by permissions, or permissions not followed by prohibitions, or prohibitions not followed by permissions. These 4 methods are in harmony and are not contradictory. The speech of the Buddha, which has the true nature of things, is free of futile proliferation. Being expressed rationally, it suppresses any commentary on existence and non-existence. The speech of the Buddha is in accord with the Absolute and, even when it speaks about conventional things, it is faultless, for it is not in contradiction with the twofold truth, absolute truth and conventional truth. The speech of the Buddha aims at the good. To the pure man, it addresses gentle words. To the impure man, harsh words. But whether they are gentle or harsh, they are alike without fault. The speech of the Buddha is in accord with the holy Dharma, but is not attached to it. It is the foe of impure laws but experiences no haughtiness toward them. It criticizes many things but does not blame anything. It praises the Dharma in multiple ways but remains without any support.